All right, these are my copywriting frameworks and routine I use for the Platform X. I just hit my first 500 followers in a pretty short amount of time. I think it was around 90 days. So I'm going to show you the most typical, most frequently used frameworks, copywriting frameworks I use day to day. Here's some proof. I'm writing for a business owner right now. I get paid $250 a week for one thread a day. And I've been working with them since November, and that's still till the present day. Super important thing to understand. If you understand the frameworks I'm about to show you, you will keep and retain clients for much longer because you understand not only the algorithm itself, but you understand how to grab and hold attention. Just some more proof. These are my earnings on my Upwork profile. I'm a copywriter and social media manager, so that's my specialty. Going over the frameworks that I use most often. So these are a list of the 5 most commonly used, but I'm only going to speak on 3 because I have found that they perform the best on the Platform X. For Instagram and YouTube, that's a completely different story, but over on X, hook, value, call to action. The framework also that I use is PAS, problem, agitate, solution, and ADA, attention, interest, desire, action. Here are some examples that I've broken down by following these frameworks. Instead of trying to come up and reinvent the wheel, I find problems, roadblocks I've ran into myself and that I've also seen in the comments section. You guys leave comments of what you're struggling with, and so I'll break it down into some sort of copywriting framework. And as you can see here, problem, agitate, solution. So the problem here, I'm stating that it's impossible to just build a $10,000 a month business with 4 hours a day. That is going to grab eyeballs, and you can see here got almost 600 views. Agitate. Your issue is skills. So I'm agitating the problem even further, and I'm coming with a solution at the end. I'm wrapping up the entire tweet. And even though this is only between, I want to say 50 to 100 words, the same framework applies to emails, VSLs, you name it. You have to understand the basics. And something like X is a great platform to practice your ability to copyright. I'm grabbing attention, I'm learning the frameworks, and you can see my progress. I used to start out at getting maybe 1 like if I was lucky, maybe 10 views, and now I'm getting 500, 600, sometimes even down here, over 1,000 views per post. So my advice to anyone beginning as a copywriter, practice, practice, practice. Use these frameworks I just showed you. And also go to my Twitter account. Go over here, go to It's Trey Hart, it will be in the description. Scroll around and just steal my frameworks that I'm using. Don't reinvent some different type of writing. Maybe take what's already working or what I'm posting and rewrite it in your own words. You're gonna start to find patterns that you can then use over on emails, on VSLs. And also, you can use this as a portfolio, which I still to this day often do. So that's just some of the frameworks that I use, but how can you start today? How can you take action and kind of build your own personal brand over on X, on Twitter, whatever you want to call it? So that's when this comes in. So step 1, whenever working with clients, I always optimize profile. In my opinion, black and white looks very professional on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter. You want to be very recognizable. So get a good headshot. Black and white works, but there's tons of other different examples of people that you can find and try out and test. I prefer black and white. Next, step 2, clear call to action. So this is my description or my bio over on Twitter. You can see that I'm using the framework, who I help, past clients, past skills or my current skills, and call to action. Commonly used and commonly taught over on the Platform X, and I see it over and over again, is what you do, who you help, social proof, call to action. Again, who I help. I'm helping entrepreneurs and creators write content that sells. These are my past clients, and then my skill set. And I have a call to action for a freebie, a 75-page content course over my Twitter, which of course you can grab that. But that's kind of the framework I'm following for my bio or my description. And I also optimize for the verified check mark on my account. This blue check mark may not seem like a lot, but it stands out in the DMs, in the comment sections. It gets people thinking that you have authority even if you don't have 1,000, 2,000 followers. I only have 500, but I'm growing due to that verified check mark. My DMs also get opened more often due to that blue check mark. So if it's possible, pay for the verified check mark so you can have it yourself. So moving on to the banner, I have a pretty straightforward banner. I'm just using something from Canva. It took me like 10 minutes to create. Type in Twitter banner. You can just simply go search on Canva. You go here, type in Twitter banner, type that in, and there's a list of over 20,000 Canva templates that you can choose from. I just did a white screen and I put in my own logo, but you can kind of adjust that how you like. Super important you have a good logo. Next up is my landing page. So if you go and type in treyhart.com, you will be prompted to this screen. You can also go to my Twitter and you can kind of see that this is what my landing page looks like. This helps me collect emails. This helps me find clients. Clients reach out to me from this newsletter. So have some sort of landing page where they get a free resource and they can also contact you. That's super, super important if you want to start signing clients from your personal brand. And again, this kind of started out as practice on the platform X, but it quickly turned into a client acquisition channel that you can do the same. Just start writing today. And so I'll keep on continuing, but another option you could use is ConvertKit or Card. And I believe it's spelled with 2 R's. It looks like this. I do believe it's free, but there's also a paid option, which I think with a paid option, you can get your own custom URL. So just putting that out there. So the polar star that I think is super important that I also tell my clients to focus on is understanding that you want to find content that is already working. I've mentioned it in the past. Don't reinvent the wheel. Find content, find profiles, find bios that are already working on the platform X. Tweak the words a bit, create your own style, but use that framework because what's going to end up happening is you'll start to recognize patterns. And once you recognize patterns, then you can use those copywriting frameworks, and then you will be a killer copywriter. You will have a vast understanding of how to copyright, capture attention, and write persuasively, which is by far one of the most important skills I've learned how to do, I think, in my life. So again, here are a couple examples of people that I look at quite often for inspiration, but just find your own and kind of create your own style based on the kind of different avatars or different people you look up to. Now, the last step of this whole thing is finding a good routine. If you want my routine, the full routine, you can just head over to the school. It'll be linked in the description. Go to the classroom tab and then go to the $1,400 resource. And there should be a routine image right here. And you can kind of just click on it and access that in case you're curious. But find a good routine where you write in the morning, you post in the afternoon. That is super important. If you're curious on what times are best, and I will show you what my times are, head over to the premium tab, the analytics, and then I can pretty much go to my audience. I can see what times I'm getting the most likes at. For me, between 6 a.m. PST and 9 a.m. PST is typically where I'm getting the most likes, the most engagement. That's where my audience is most active. So highly recommend using analytics to your benefit as well, because it tells you when people are up liking your content. So with that out of the way, there's one more part that I think people will be asking is, how do I capture ideas? How do I write about different things on the X platform? So in my opinion, and this is just kind of what's worked for me, books, podcasts, social media, pain points I'm currently facing, struggles I'm going through, roadblocks I'm facing, are all potential ideas of things you can write about. Super important thing about social media is it's meant to be relatable. The more relatable you can be and you can write, the more likely people will follow you, like your content, and continue to watch whatever you put out or read whatever you put out. I understand that sometimes you don't really know where to start or what to write about, which is exactly why I created this swipe file, which for those of you that don't know, as a copywriter, the worst thing you can have is just a blank Google document with that cursor blinking. And so having some reference, and essentially a swipe file is just examples of copy that worked well or pieces of copy that looked and performed well on social media, or maybe it was an email you got sent that you really liked. It is essentially just a folder of really good marketing material that you can use for reference whenever you're starting to write a new piece of copy. And again, if you want that entire swipe file, head over to my community, go to the Classrooms tab, click on the $1,400 resource, and the swipe file will be right here. You can click on it, click on the click here button, and then it will take you to my entire swipe file that you can then just download. If you want to see the full email, all you have to do is go over here and click open, and you can see the subject line, you can see the body text, the call to action, etc. Super, super straightforward. Again, I've done this for months. So I've been capturing all these people's emails and putting it into this swipe file. So that's super helpful if you're just starting out writing. So just to wrap this video up, there's only so many frameworks that you need to be familiar with as a copywriter. The ones I showed you earlier in this video are the ones I use every single day. I use them for emails in my newsletter. I use them for content of my own. I use them on Twitter. Go sneak through my Instagram and kind of just steal and kind of copy what I'm already posting and use it for yourself. I am a test dummy. Think of me like a test rabbit. Just use what I'm doing. If it's performed well, write your own version, and you also will start to find success. That is my best piece of advice. And even if you don't know how to write copy, practice, 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 an hour to 2 hours a day, just rewriting what I've already written or what other content creators have already written. That will get you progressing and get you comfortable with writing copy for anybody. I promise you, that is exactly what I did. And not to mention, it will bring you clients. It will attract people that want to work with you based on your persuasive writing. Once you start to get good, in month 3 to 4 of practicing for an hour to 2 hours a day, you will see success. That is something I can guarantee. So thank you guys for watching. Again, links to all my socials. You can just steal the content and use it for yourself will be in the description. So again, thanks for watching. See you soon.